Hello, can you see us and can you hear us? Because I think we are live. If you can see us and if you can hear us, please type in the comments because we would like to know and we always love interaction. Before we start, I'd like to welcome you to our retail talks. The next one, because we didn't actually do one in a while, I would say, and especially with our today's guest, Tara Nedeljkovic. So we have one comment. Okay, hi girls, thank you so much. Keep going. Keep going with commenting. That's great. Okay, I can see it's from YouTube. Great. Yes, today we will talk about Romania, and we will cover the improvement of vending machines because that is a thing in Romania. So that will be interesting to hear today. And Tara actually is a great connoisseur of Romanian fiscal law, like the whole scope. And of course, she goes in all those little details that are really important. So I'm pretty excited to cover this topic today, and I can't wait to start. But before we start with today's topic, I would like, of course, to thank you once again for coming and for watching us, and to tell you more about these retail talks, some informations and details, and then we can continue because I don't want to steal your time to hear more about it. So, retail talks are actually events that we are doing on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Also we are like doing it live and it's streaming live on LinkedIn and our YouTube channel. So if any platform isn't working right, you can switch to another one. Also, since this is live event, we are also recorded and you can watch it later because it will be saved on both platforms, LinkedIn and YouTube. So that's something that was really important to mention. Happy to see you too. Thank you. Also, I'd like to tell you more about Fiscal Solutions, who we are, what we actually do, and why do we think that we could talk about this fiscal topics. So first of all, Fiscal Solutions is a company that it's 20 years old now, from 2023, and actually the business started in Romania. So that's something that is really funny to say. Today we have presence in, I think, more than 25 countries, and one of them is Metaverse as well, which is really great, and it shows the expertise in like fiscal area, even in the whole new Web3 world. We have 4 products. So first of all, Fiscal Portal, where you can find all these informations about the Romania we will talk about today, but not just that ones, like every single fiscal document, official fiscal laws, and everything you need for if you want to expand in another country. Also, you can find their news and alerts, so you will be the first one to know when something new happens. For example, like now in Romania, deadlines and so on. It will be much easier to follow. Second thing is workshop. So they are like all-day consultancies about country requirements, which can be really important if you want to expand in another country or if there is some changes in fiscal laws. Third thing is our middleware that has implemented fiscal requirements of all countries, which is really important. So it's one interface. And at the end of the process is Fiscal Help Desk, which is like fiscal support for your local business. Besides that, I would like to say that we are currently have some new strategic moves. And those are, we are covering Fiscal Cloud, our new cloud solution. And we are covering it for 3 countries. Spain, for example, is one of them, Croatia and France. So those are the first 3 countries. And if you want to know more about it, you can also type at marketing@fiscal-solutions.com. I think I did like the short introduction, and I really don't want to take much of your time. I would like just to introduce myself this time and Tara, and then maybe to start with today's topic. My name is Milica, and you know me very well. I'm a marketing manager at company Fiscal Solutions. I'm your host today. So if you have any problems of any kind, like any nature, technical nature or something like that, reach out to me, and I'll try to solve it as soon as possible. And I'm not alone today, and I'm actually not the main role today. Today with us is Tara Nedeljkovic, and she's legal consultant at Fiscal Solutions. Tara covers a lot of countries from those 25 that we actually have in our scope, and Romania is one of them. So I'm pretty sure that today we will hear pretty much amazing information from you, Tara.
Hello, Milica. Thank you once again for having me today. And thank you so much for organizing this event and for making sure that we cover this topic today, because it's really, we can say, a hot topic in Romania for the upcoming months. And I'm glad that we're doing this again. And just like you said, we cover many countries and have many different types of services here at Fiscal Solutions. But I wouldn't talk too much about it since we don't have much time, and we will need to talk about many different details regarding our topic of vending machines today in Romania.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So maybe if you agree with me, I think we didn't actually talk for a long time about the Romanian fiscal law and how that law functions, because I think there actually weren't some huge changes in the last, I don't know, 1 or 2 years. So maybe to go through some short overview of Romanian fiscal law, and then we will go through vending machines and all the specific requirements.
Yes, of course, Milica. Yes, we will start there. And I think that is an important start for today's topic, since the basic information about the whole fiscalization system in Romania is going to give us a frame for this topic of vending machines, which are now becoming a part of the fiscalization system as a whole. So in this part of our talk, I will give you some brief information about the overview of the history and of the current requirements in the fiscalization of Romania. For our start here. So first of all, Romania is a long-time fiscal country. They became fiscal in 1999, so over 20 years ago, almost 25 years ago, when the first fiscal law was published in Romania, and when they have established the authority for this kind of transactions, and also for this type of monitoring system. And this system was established in 1999, but further along, there were many changes, many adoptions of additional regulations. As for the Romanian tax authority, they are mostly referred to with the short name as ANAF, and we will probably refer to them with that name during this presentation. They are currently, and from the beginning of the process of fiscalization in Romania, the main fiscal authority and the ones who are monitoring the compliance of the whole system and of the tax collection for all the companies that are in the scope of fiscalization. The basic idea of Romanian fiscalization is that the relevant transaction data are sent by the POS application to the fiscal printer. So there are certain components that need to be every retailer needs to have in order for him to be able to fiscalize his transactions. As for those components, one of the most important ones is, of course, the fiscal printer, which is responsible also for data exchange with the tax authority and for creating and printing of the fiscal receipt, as well as many different documents. A fiscal receipt is defined in Romania as a document that shows that a transaction has been registered and reported to the NAF for each sale that was performed by a taxpayer or fiscalization. So when it comes to the fiscal device itself, we can say that the printer in Romania, the device itself, but the printer, first of all, needs to be connected to a customer display as an obligatory component, as well as that the whole solution needs to be fiscalized for usage. Meaning that it needs to be certified and get an approval according to the current regulations in Romania. Also, it's important to note that a complete solution would include the POS application, fiscal printer, and the mentioned customer display. That is, from the perspective of the Romanian law, as the main basic elements. As for the most recent bigger law changes, that we can talk about here, the last one prior to this change that happened regarding the vending machines, the last one before that happened in 2017. And it was related to the updates about the connection to the tax authority. So the fiscal printer needed to start to send data online to the fiscal authority, meaning the ANAF that we mentioned previously. So because of that, in this current system, transaction data are sent to the fiscal printer and then from there are sent to the tax authority server. Since Romania has a mandatory hardware device that we've mentioned, so they have a fiscal printer, most of the fiscalization is actually done on the fiscal printer itself. This part of the device, so the fiscal printer, is responsible for sending all of the transactions to the fiscal authority online, and it actually needs to have that network connection to the server of tax authority in order to be able to do that. And we will not talk about many details regarding this part here, but we can say that some other important segments that are included regarding the fiscal device itself are also the fiscal board, fiscal memory, electronic journal, also the data communication module, among those that we haven't mentioned in more detail here. Also, to be able to follow Romanian fiscal regulation, the retailer needs to use a fiscal device that has been certified there. So it needs to be certified in Romania. Right now, certification of a complete solution is required, and that includes the POS application together with the fiscal printer and with the customer display. The certification process is done by the authorized official body in Romania, which is the National Institute for Research and Development in Informatics. And also it is known by the short name as the ICI. The fiscal device in Romania is, as I said, the device that needs to have different requirements, and the complete solution with those requirements needs to pass all the segments of the certification process to be able to be put on the market in case of the applicant who is certifying it, or in the case of retailer to be able to buy it and to use it in his process of sales. And maybe to sum up this introduction part, we can definitely say that Romania has one of more complex and strict fiscal systems when you would look at primarily at the certification process and all of those segments that would need to be a part of the device itself. And that the main goal of their system is to make sure that they have all of those data of transactions as soon as the transactions occur in as short as time as possible, and also to record as many as possible transactions that happen in retail. And different companies, actually most of the companies that are selling goods or providing services to end customers are a part of the fiscalization system in Romania and would need to comply to these requirements.
Wow. I would say that this is more than just one basic overview. And thank you for that. Thank you for reminding us how Romanian fiscal system actually works and what is something that is actual there. I would like maybe to start now with that vending machines, because that is a thing in Romania. And if you agree with me, it would be great to tell us more about how are actually vending machines defined in Romania, and maybe to tell us more about what are the main characteristics of these devices.
Yes, so as we know, vending machines are considered equipment, and maybe if we talk in general terms, those are automated devices that are used to sell goods directly to customers without the need for any kind of human intervention, meaning without the need for a cashier or any other person that would serve the customer at the moment of sales. Vending machine represent one of the many different sales channels in the retail industry in many different countries, and that does not exclude Romania. Romania is actually having a somewhat of a renaissance of these devices and a renaissance of this industry. And these devices can be considered a part of a larger industry that is now, for the recent years, in Europe, and Romania is one of the leading countries that has many different vending solutions available with various different products, technologies, and opportunities that these devices can be used for in selling the different types of products to the customers of the retailers. And when we talk about Romania, not wider than that, but Romania in particular, vending machines in Romania, the commercial vending machines, which means the machines that are used for sales, can accept different forms of payment. Those could be cards, banknotes, as well as coins. Also, vending machines offer a variety of different kinds of products, and some of them even offer some services. For instance, the products that are usually sold could include different types of food, beverages, also tickets. Some are used in parking services, for car wash, books, toys, and so many other products, which we cannot enlist here all of them, but those were like the most common ones. And in the last 5 years, there has definitely been an increase in choosing particularly this sales channel to broaden their services by the different retail companies in Romania, and using them to sell different types of products that we've previously mentioned. Vending machines are considered one of the first growing segments in the past 5 years, as I said, in retail in Romania. And we can say that in the last few years, this market has been dominated primarily by drink sales, and some of the others are sales of snacks and other food products. And based on the current research, the market is expected to grow even further in the upcoming years. And it's driven by safety, convenience, and innovation that these devices can provide. And also because they have been regulated in this past year and will be probably even more regulated in the upcoming years, it is important to stay up to date and to follow all those trends regarding this type of sales, which certainly offers some kind of easier way, or maybe some advantages other than the regular sales that is done at the point of sale. So when we talk about the history of vending machines in Romania, so previously in the, let's say, years before 2019, there hasn't been any relevant regulation that was connected to the area of fiscalization or other segments that were needed for fiscal requirements in terms of usage of vending machines in Romania. And vending machines were not fiscal type of devices in Romania. So there were no preset fiscal requirements for these devices, and sales was done on vending machines without the monitoring of the tax authority in the same way that it is done in the fiscal segment, in the part where the fiscal devices are monitored. But starting from mid-2019, there were first regulations in this subject. And after that, many other details have been defined, especially in this past 6 months. And also they were defined for different types of vending machines and different types of payments that were possible from these vending machines, be it card payments, banknote, or coins. Like we mentioned before, it doesn't make a difference in terms of fiscalization of vending machines. So when I mentioned the first regulation that was defined, it was the law from mid-2019. And in that law, there was also the first initial deadline for equipping vending machines with the segment that was needed for their fiscalization. So vending machines, according to this first law from 2019, need to be accompanied with the electronic cash registers with the first deadline that was set in that law, and that was the end of 2019. But of course, because there were many setbacks and many technical details that will need to be defined further, this deadline was postponed for many times. So it was first postponed for the end of 2021, then to the end of 2022, and by this last postponement, it is expected that the deadline that is now set will be a fixed one and that it will not be further postponed. And currently, the official deadline for approval of these devices and for starting of fiscalization of sales through vending machines is the 31st of December 2023. So this deadline is soon approaching, but also there is enough time for anyone who wants to use vending machines in sales in Romania and continue to use them to be able to comply to these new requirements.
Okay, great. So you actually answered to a lot of questions. At the moment, that actually was my question. Are vending machines a subject to fiscalization? But you did it all the way. So thank you for clarifying that. My next question would be, you mentioned cash registers. So definitely, I would like to maybe clarify also, is a vending machine treated as a cash register in Romania?
Okay, yes. So this is a really interesting topic, and it kind of comes close to the previous that I mentioned, that the vending machines would need to be equipped with cash registers by the end of this year. It's certainly important to discuss this one as well. So it is significant to say that and to distinguish what is actually considered to be a vending machine. Is a cash register the same as a vending machine? Also, does the vending machine need to be equipped with cash register? Are those the same cash registers as the ones used in regular sales? Those are all questions. Since this new regulation change that has introduced fiscalization for vending machines, yes, so vending machines would need to have a cash register that would be supplied for those vending machines. So they need to be equipped with a cash register. And this one needs to be kind of specific and different from the regular cash registers, and also needs to be a solution that is certified for Romania. But until this year, the answer to this question was no, that they do not need to have a cash register, or that is something that is optional, and cash registers for vending machines were not defined as specific elements of this equipment as elements that would need to be certified, but all of that is changing from this year. So the Romanian government has decided recently to implement a procedure of complete fiscalization of sales through commercial vending machines, which means, as I said, that every vending machine will need to be supplied with a certified cash register, and would also need to be examined if they're compatible to the cash register that is used for that vending machine, and that they from then on only could sell products that are fiscalized, so sell products in the process of fiscalization. Based on the latest regulation changes, we can say that vending machines are treated as a special type of device. They are a part of a larger group of unattended equipment, and also they will start to be treated as a subtype of that kind of equipment that needs to be equipped with the mentioned cash registers and needs to fiscalize all sales in the upcoming period. As I said, currently, based on the latest publications, even though that the previous deadlines were postponed for multiple times, it is kind of almost absolutely fixed that from the 31st of December of 2023, all of those who use vending machines will need to have a proper device that has a certified cash register that has passed all the needed approvals and testing in order to be able to use it in their sales processes. Also, we can say that there would be several consequences in case that the requirement for vending machines are not met in the set deadlines. And according to one of the latest documents that has been published in Romania, it is said that the unattended equipment in case that it does not have all the necessary requirements, will be subjected to different kinds of inspections, different kinds of tests, and that there are different fines that are proposed in those cases. And those fines would range between approximately 1,500 euros and going up to over 2,000 euros for each cash register in vending machines, and for each kind of machine that doesn't meet the requirements. So those fines are not low, and they can cause significant problems for the retailers in case that they do not comply. Also, these penalties can be used in different cases, in different situations by Romanian authorities, and it is said that from the first day after that deadline, it is possible for the inspectors of the Romanian tax authorities to start with the inspection processes and to be rigorous with those different penalties. We can say that there are some of the many characteristics of cash registers for vending machines that would need to be talked about here, and what is specific about them in Romania. But maybe I can give information about a few when we talk about this particular question.
Please
So,
do.
yes. So they must have interfaces and ensure that they are integrated with the control unit of this type of equipment. They must have certain payment peripherals that are also part of the checkups. They also need to have different kinds of calculation systems and devices with the identifiable application programs. They would need to have at least one, but also they can possibly have multiple interfaces to the control unit and to different ways of payment. So one device can allow different payment types. And they do not, for now, need to have a printing device. So that is also interesting, but we will talk about the details of that part and the documents later. But what is important, perhaps, is to say that in case that they do print different kinds of documents, they would need to comply to certain requirements for the fiscal receipt that is printed from these devices. And also another important element of these devices would be a fiscal module that would need to capture different types of data, and that would need to comply to various requirements that are maybe a bit more specific for vending machines.
Okay, great. Thank you. You were talking about, and you actually mentioned fiscal receipts, as I heard it right. So I would like to know, what about fiscal documents, and is there like any obligation to issue a fiscal receipt from a vending machine? How that looks like?
Yes, of course. Yeah, that is a topic that is kind of coming up next. So in regular sales in Romanian fiscalization, of course, for instance, in regular stores, when a sales transaction is occurring on the point of sale, it is important to know that in Romanian fiscalization sets up a strict rule that a fiscal receipt needs to be printed and issued and printed to the customer. So the customer cannot leave the store without a printed receipt. And currently, any other kind of issuing receipts is not the primary one, and it is not allowed as the alone option. And in any case, when a customer makes a purchase, this receipt needs to be instantly printed to him on the spot or delivered to him in some cases of distant sales. And particularly when we talk about vending machines, there has been different kinds of solutions proposed, but we can say that some kind of middle ground has been come upon, and it depends on the particular vending machine's capabilities. What that means, more precisely, according to the current Romanian regulations, the answer to this question depends primarily on whether the vending machine has a printing device in itself or not. So previously to getting it to the certification process, if there is a printing device, there are certain rules, and if there is not, there are some other kind of rules regarding the documents. So a printing device can be a component that allows vending machine to print out receipts and to print out other documents on paper. But if a vending machine does not have a printing device itself previously to giving to the certification process, then it would not be obligatory to print out any receipts, either fiscal or non-fiscal, from the vending machine. However, that does not mean that the vending machine does not have to record and store the transactions that occur. In fact, the vending machine has to keep all the fiscal documents in an electronic file, so in an electronic journal, which is a device, kind of a part of the device that stores all the data in digital format, and the transactions need to be recorded anyhow. The electronic journal has to be accessible to the tax authorities and to be readable for the inspectors that possibly can come to the store. On the other hand, if the vending machine does have a printing device in itself, then it is obligatory to print receipts for every transaction that occurs. This means that the vending machine has to print out, in that case, both fiscal and non-fiscal receipts, as well as other related documents that could be different daily reports, such as SET report, X report, and some other kinds of documents, and also would need to print fiscal receipt with certain header information as a part of that document. And these documents will need to be printed in accordance to the specifications set out by the government in the previous years that rely on the documents that are issued in other types of sales. So those that would include regular sales and other kind of sales channels, not only in vending machines. And since being so, we can say, specific in many elements, vending machines in Romania have different obligations, as we said, regarding the issuance of receipts. And one of them is that particular set of requirements for the header of the document. And as I said, maybe to conclude, it depends on the previous state of the device. And in case that a retailer wants to add that possibility for their vending machine to be able to print receipts, that is also possible. So it is not forbidden, but it is not an obligation in case that the printing part of the device didn't exist priorly.
Okay, great, thank you. So just to summarize this one, you want to tell me that some vending machines will issue a fiscal receipt and some of them will not.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay, but anyways, every single vending machine has to record every transaction.
That is exactly right. Yes.
Okay. Do you think that will cause confusion in people?
Yes, I believe that maybe these decisions can even cause more confusion for those who are working in the vending area, because always when you have this, you can do this, and maybe there's another option, and what is possible, what is obligatory, it can really create different kind of problems for those who want to, especially when this process starts and when this transition is occurring in the moment. So I believe this could be one of the pain points for those who are working in vending retail.
Okay, but that's why I wanted to just ask once again, just to make sure. So what is important to mention once again, there is no need to issue a fiscal receipt, but every single transaction needs to be recorded and stored, right?
Yes, that is a general rule, but only in case that there is a printer already, then you would need to use it, which is the logical solution for those devices. But most of them do not have printing device and would probably go for only recording inside of the device and without the issuance of printed documents.
Okay, great, Tara. I would now like to hear more about if there are any latest changes in the area regarding vending machines usage. So please, if you could tell us more about it.
Yes, of course. Yeah, there are many different novelties happening in this area, where most of them were actually started to be announced from the November and December of 2022 and onwards till the last month, so till the June of this year. And I probably mentioned a few before, but here I will maybe sum up what are some of the most important ones and talk about those that we would have time here to explain. So first of all, the procedure for the technical approval, so for the certification process of cash register models that were going to be a part of the vending machines, it was modified in the previous months by the Ministry of Finance in Romania, and a particular order has been issued for that. And as stated by the tax authority, this kind of measure was necessary for the possibility of all those who want to apply for the certification of their devices to be able to get an approval for those devices, because there was not enough specification and not enough information about the differences regarding these types of cash registers and other types of devices. So that was the order by the Ministry of Finance from June this year, and it was published in the official Gazette of Romania on 23rd of June, to be precise. And this document in particular provides for different kinds of amendments to the procedure of the technical approval of fiscal electronic cash registers that would be used in vending machines. These information include the different types of requirements that are given here more precisely than in any of the other documents before, and that give more details about the new types of cash registers, which are those that are considered to be used in vending machines. And without this last specification, it is said that the approval process couldn't be even started. Also, the latest changes we can say for this topic include those different published regulations, but also they include an important segment, which is only recently open possibility to send the first application. So to send the first request for certification of the cash register applications. So that is planned to be occurring a lot in the upcoming months, and also the first steps for how the certification process and what direction can it take were published also recently. So it only became possible from, I believe, a month ago to send first applications and to certify your own cash register solution as a part of vending machine that will be connected to it. And we can say, maybe to be more concise here, to focus on the most important segments of these changes. And here I will talk about the few most significant adjustments and updates in this area that happened in the past few months. So regarding that, first, the entire set of vending machines consists of different payment peripherals, of a control unit and some other segments. And those may function differently depending on the protocols and segments used by them, which is why it is necessary to submit the technical documentation that includes the type of protocol that is used by the vending machine or different multiple types of protocols, as well as different data and documents regarding those payment peripherals. The documents that are provided to the certification body would need to be in accordance with the equipment that is being certified based on the latest of those amendments. Meaning, in order to have a clear record of the whole configuration of a vending machine, when you send the application, you will need to provide details of each segment of the cash register for vending machine that is going to be certified, as well as how it functions with the other segments of the device itself. Other than that, since vending machines operate with these kind of different protocols and under different conditions, data can be sent and used in different ways, and even the structure of the data can be different from device to device. It's important to send the exact data for all of the protocols that would be a part of the solution that is certified. And in case if the fiscal electronic cash register that is sent for approval has several types of these communication elements, for each of them, there is a separate part of documentation that would need to be sent to the tax authorities, actually to be sent, for the body that is responsible for certification, and also maybe to add along the process for testing. And lastly, maybe for this segment, according to the information that was recently provided by the Employers Association of Merchants, as well as the tax authority themselves and some other public entities, after formalizing the mentioned changes and after the last amendments, companies can finally now go directly to the ICI, so to their competent certification body in Bucharest, as a way to start the process of certification and to apply for the technical approval. And that actually means that this process is now open for enrollment, which was a long-awaited process for maybe some would say through 2 to 3 years since this process has been announced for the first time.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to ask one question because I know that you have a lot of experience in fiscal laws, and you do like learn about the fiscal laws on a daily level since there is always something that is changing, so you need to update your knowledge, and of course our fiscal portal as well. And my question would be just your opinion. What do you think it is better if you give people more options, or is it better to give them the one, and that they need to stick to it?
If you mean regarding the functions of the devices, or do you mean about if you mean about how they can use their devices for sales? I mean, in each case, I believe that it is good to have multiple options, especially if someone is doing sales along different sales channels. So, on point of sale in a regular store, online, and vending, and so on. But also sometimes clients need a strict information. So this can be done, this cannot be done. So maybe sometimes it's easier for them not to have an additional choice if there's something that is obligatory to do, and they just follow it along with all the other information about requirements. So sometimes it's easier for them to just have an answer, which is a yes or no, without many options offered.
You know why I asked this? Because you're talking and you're like, you can do it this way, or you can do it that way, or you're allowed to do this. This is not forbidden, and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, what should I do? Just tell me what should I do. Like, for me, it's easier to have like strict point, and you need to do that, that, and that, and that's it. And I would say that this is like free. You can do it everything. You can do anything. Just record transaction and send it to the tax authority. You know what I mean. So that's actually why I asked. And thank you for clarifying that. Your opinion was really important here because you do it on a daily level. Of course, when we talk about fiscalization and retail and all of those things, there is one thing that is really important to cover, and that is certification process. Of course, not the really preferable topic, but okay. So can you tell us something about the certification process? Is it necessary to certify a vending machine?
Yes, of course, Milica. So we'll talk about that part now, which is always one of the most interesting elements for our clients.
Yes.
So first of all, yes, from the 31st of December 2023, all vending machines that are used for sales to customers in Romania would need to be certified solutions and would need to meet all of the requirements that are now set. And if there are some changes in those requirements, they would need to adjust accordingly. And in order to comply with the new requirements for vending machines, in particular, we will not talk further about different kinds of elements and process of certification overall in Romania because it's such a huge and detailed topic. So I will focus here on vending machines right away. So in regards to that, the companies that want to use vending machines in their businesses need to provide them, of course, as I said, with a certified cash register, but not just any kind, but those that meet the regular requirements. And in any case that there are some differences in those new documents regarding vending machines, they would need to adjust to those specific segments for particular cash registers that would be used in vending machines. So those are not the same cash registers that are used in other types of sales. And as I said, this will be absolutely necessary to be a mandatory requirement for all operators of vending machines as soon as the end of this year, so from December 31st of this year. That is about 4 to 6 month period, which is probably for someone who is starting right now enough time to prepare for this change. But if we ask how does a company get a certified cash register for a vending machine, and if they want to certify their own cash register, how does that process work? Well, there are several steps that would need to be followed, and I will explain in brief many of those, probably all of them, and how those steps need to be followed. So first of all, for the certification process in Romania to occur for this type of devices, there is a necessity to have some local company in Romania as some kind of communications, we can say a local partner or someone who can help the company who wants to certify their solution if in communication with the Romanian tax authorities, especially because of some of the challenges that are specific for Romania. Also, there are different other companies such as our company that can help in this process, and that also are companies who have a lot of knowledge and many detailed segments for the certification processes, both in this type and also for regular cash registers in Romania. Secondly, those who apply for certification of their new cash registers need to submit both their cash register and vending machine equipment to the National Institute for Research and Development in Informatics, which is the same body that does the certification process for other fiscal devices in Romania. Also, during this process, before this institute, there will be different types of we can say tests and different types of approval documentation that would need to be checked. And also they will check if the device meets both the technical and functional requirements for fiscalization, as well as legal requirements for these types of devices. Some of those requirements refer to security of device, reliability of the documents and different data that is saved, way of how they are achieving data transmission, and many other different requirements. Thirdly, before using the device, the applicant will need to wait, of course, for the end of the approval process and to wait to get the certification from the ICI. And based on the statements from the ICI themselves and from the ANAF as well, the process of certification itself may take up to approximately a month, but that depends on the number of applications that are done at that moment and processed by them, and also based on the availability of their particular technical team. As well, there are some different setbacks that could occur during this process in case of some documentation or some tests that are not done accordingly. But if everything is done right, the process could last approximately around 1 month, not longer than that. There are currently 5 teams that can handle the applications for certifying the cash registers in Romania for these particular devices, and it is currently known that they can process maybe 5 to 7 applications at a time. So once the device passes the tests, the applicant will receive a technical approval certificate from the ICI. And just like the technical approval certificates for regular cash registers, these certificates would last for 5 years for now. As for additional segments of this process, the companies that want to sell their devices, so to be able to use them on the Romanian market, will need to apply also for distribution authorization that is received from the Ministry of Finances in Romania. We can say that this is in the step segment. This is like the final step that allows the applicant to sell or even to market their certified cash register in Romania. And for those who want to do that, they would need to submit their firstly received technical approval certificate and some also additional documents to the Ministry of Finance. And then the Ministry of Finance will issue the authorization for distribution of this equipment. And maybe lastly, the operator of these kinds of vending machines, which we can call maybe upgraded or newly fiscalized vending machines, will need to install a certified cash register in the vending machine and would need to start using it from the moment they installed it to fiscalize all the transactions that occur. They will also need to make sure that the device is connected to the internet and that can send the data to the tax authorities, and do so as short as time frame as possible. And as you can see, the certification process for cash registers has a lot of elements, and it can become kind of complicated and requires some time and effort, but probably with right information, it can go a little bit more smoothly.
Always a complex topic, certification, and there is always more things to do, more than one. But that's okay. We used it, so we gotta do what we gotta do. So for the end, maybe just once again to cover that timeline for the changes and what we could expect, since we know that deadlines actually have been postponed many times, right? You said it earlier, so maybe to give us some conclusions, what can we expect?
Yes, of course. Yes. So first, regarding the timeline, we can say that one of the latest documents that was the decision by the Ministry of Finance has established the latest deadline for all the economic operators who want to use the vending machine. So for everyone who wants to use them for sales, to get the certified cash registers for those devices until, as I said, the December 31st, 2023. And currently, based on all the information, this date is probably going to stay the same. So without any further postponements or any further changes in that regard. But yes, and this conclusion can be actually taken from the current information provided by the Romanian tax authorities themselves and their news and different publications on their website. So this is probably the most relevant information for us. And this process and this deadline was actually kind of not easily accomplished only a few months ago, but the process was kind of fast forwarded from the May of this year, when the most important technical documentation and in mid-June were published, and in that way enabled for this process to end by the end of December 2023. So this will happen soon. As for the upcoming period and what are some of conclusions and what can we say about what is expected. So the upcoming period is certainly going to be challenging for those who work in this industry in Romania. And just to get in touch with all the changes and have everything, we can say all the information that is relevant at their disposal, and also to comply to all the various requirements that would need to be met until that time period, because many probably believe that this deadline will be further postponed, or even that they do not have enough information about this, but different technical specifications have been published, so the data is here, and all that needs to be done is that those who want to do it get to start this process in the upcoming months. And I can say, just like any big change and introduction of fiscalization in any area, this is actually introducing fiscalization for the first time for this kind of equipment in Romania. It is important to stay in touch to the relevant bodies, to be up to date and to check everything in order to not miss the important requirements and not get on the we can say bad side of the tax authority and not get any kind of fines or penalties, but to be in compliance with everything that is now a requirement.
Definitely. And you told us about the penalties. They're not cheap. They are pretty expensive. So don't let yourself to get any, and be ready on time. Great. I think that we covered almost everything. Of course, we couldn't do it like in every single detail because this is not enough time to cover everything. But I think you were great, Tara. And everything that you discovered today for us was pretty amazing. And of course, I actually knew that this is going to be that way. So thank you for discovering all these informations for us today. Thank you, of course, also for being here with us and for your time, especially.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was a pleasure, and thank you for handling everything like like a champion holding all the information and questions for us as well. So thank you.
Yeah, it's never easy, especially when you are like handling with all those informations from different countries. So then you need to like have the boxes in the head. This is for the Romania, this is for the Slovakia, and so on. I think that's not pretty easy, but okay. I think that's it. If we do not have any questions, then I would like to finish this event, to end it. And of course, to thank everyone for watching us today and for being here with us. If you have any questions regarding Romania and these new changes about improvement of vending machines, you can go check out our fiscal portal, because all the informations are already there. Or maybe to reach out to Tara, because she is the best when it's the question of Romania. Also, I'd like to invite you to stay tuned, because we're doing a lot of events. And of course, we all know that besides these changes, there is also one huge change, and that is the fiscalization in Spain and a lot of other things. And we are covering it daily. And we will have also one huge webinar at the end of the summer. I would say fiscalization in Spain, volume 2. So stay with us, and until next time. Bye.
Yes. Bye, everyone. Thank you.